What is up, everyone? I'm the one, the only Jack Slater, yeah, the comic outlaw. Check us out on YouTube. And right now, we're doing classic Fantastic Four. Take you back, take you back. Number 32, them versus the Invincible Man. And yes, there will be the death of a hero, but who will die? Who will live? And how will they stop this Invincible Man? Now, they're starting off with a chorus trying to cure Benjamin J. Grimm. This has been a constant in Reed's life. He's building a giant machine right now in order to change his electromagnetic energy, I guess, or something like that. But anyways, it ends up sort of working. They turn Ben into a human, but for how long will it last? And Torch is kind of experiencing both good feelings and bad feelings. I mean, he wants Ben to be normal, but he also wants the Thing, to be on the team. And too bad he couldn't control his powers the way they do. But meanwhile, a beam is reaching across space, traveling from one spot to the other at the speed of light, traveling over galaxies, over distance, time, heading towards the planet Earth. And it strikes down on a volcano, and a beam arises from it. Thinks to itself for one moment, and then flies off. But meanwhile, the Fantastic Four, they bring Allison in, to kind of see how Ben's going to react to his human form. But he doesn't know anyone. He has no idea what's going on. He doesn't even know Reed, and he went to college with Reed. He has no idea who Allison is, and he begins attacking everyone. They've made him human, but he has no memory at all. No memory of who he was or what he accomplished. He just basically knows his name. Now this shocks Allison, thinking that she's lost him forever. But Reed put a clause sort of into this electromagnetic beam that he could bring him back within 24 hours. So he does that. And of course, he doesn't tell Thing what happened. It'd be kind of cruel. But meanwhile, this shadowy figure appears, slides into the cell of the father of Johnny Storm and Sue Storm, and all of a sudden, the man is teleported away, left with that figure, that new figure. And this is kind of just a little bit of detail on actually what happened to the father. They were in a car accident. He was a great surgeon. I think his name's Franklin. He ended up operating on his own wife. He couldn't save her. He ended up gambling. And then it led him to prison for 20 years for manslaughter for trying to defend himself while he was being shot at. Anyways, they bring him in, and he says that he feels incredible. That in that lab all the years that he's gained the powers of the Fantastic Four. And turns invisible and smashes his way out, escaping the prison. Now, Johnny and Sue kind of panic here. They fire off the flare, signaling the other two members of the Fantastic Four. And Ben and the Rubber Band Man take off as this guy, the Invincible Man, declares himself ready and gets himself a costume. And he begins wandering through the crowd, just basically bullying people away, pushing people with a force field, just getting attention until the Fantastic Four shows up. And yes, it's time for the showdown from this Invincible Man. And he goes to work. I mean, he has all the legitimate powers of the Fantastic Four. I mean, he's kind of caught Thing by surprise and knocks him down, throws Reed around like a rag doll, and of course manages to get loose from his grip from fire from the Human Torch's powers. And he's just taking them to school. He's beating the crap out of all of them. I love how he spins Johnny around and poof, there went Johnny's flame. This guy is immune to their powers as well. It's very fascinating. Have you guys figured out who this villain is yet? But anyways, Reed does this really cool thing where he turns himself into a spring and then a rubber bullet ends up hitting the force field. Thing catches him and they kind of flop down. And this is where Reed realizes that it's not muscle that's going to beat him. It's going to be brain power. But this creates a lot of bad feelings for the Fantastic Four towards the people, considering that's their quote-unquote father. They let him get away with it. They're blaming him for that. And basically, the Invincible Man goes on a crime spree, while Reed is working on something a little different. He says that he's found a way to permanently defeat this guy. So they're at a fair right now, and the Invisible Man is doing his thing, being invincible, throwing stuff around, and he throws a piece of steel at the Ben Grimm. He catches it, of course, uses the invisible force field to kind of chase it away. And this is where Reed kind of spills the beans and says that he knows who you are. He's targeting his planet right now, and he will destroy it. And we find out that it's the Super Skrull. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, it is. And he demands that he teleports away right now and brings back Sue's father. And Reed goes on to explain that he suspected something. No one could just duplicate their powers. So he looked in the area where they imprisoned him back in issue 16, found out that the volcano had been opened, and it was basically simple deduction from there. He built a device that would send a nuclear beam to their homeworld and destroy it, so they had to play ball. But they didn't have to play fair. They send back the father of Sue and Johnny, but there's a bomb in his chest, a laser beam. And instead of firing at them at the last minute, he drives his chest down to the ground, and it destroys his chest, his heart, barely alive in the hospital. He's regretted so many things in his life. So many years he wasted on pain when he could have spent time with his children. And now at this last moment, he reaches out to them as he dies. So yes, a hero has fallen. A father gave his life so his children may live, so they can continue being heroes. And I will catch you on the flip side.